Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. It's Shaker here, and you're watching the best damn show on this godforsaken platform known as YouTube. This is, well, it's not a Collision Talk, but it is the Zack Snyder's Justice League spoiler review. Let's get going. So yes, welcome to this live stream. And Shorty was going to do one, but I thought, you know what, never mind Shorty. I think he's had enough clout for some time. Might have some guests coming in. I've invited a couple of gentlemen, and let's see if they're on their way. Let me just check this link that I've sent, see if it's even the right link. What's happening here? Let me just send a message. Sorry about this, guys. But yeah, let's see who's here. We've got Quantum Surge. He loved it. Richard. Steve. Dylan. Batia. Boom. All right, so like I say, might have some guests coming in. Oh no, there's a problem here. Why? So, yeah. Did you know that that guy said that he had no interest in doing a spoiler review because it's the same movie? Then months later, he did a spoiler review. What, he's done it now? Katsuka's here. It blew your pants off, straight off. Yes, we've heard about the drama, GNG, but that's not really anything to do with me because I didn't know anything about their politics and what was happening behind the scenes. I actually missed what Zack Snyder said when he came on the stream, or like, I heard him, but I didn't know what he was talking about. But anyway, GN, my man, thank you for your super chat. We won. Now restore the Snyderverse. Yes. Okay. So, tell you what, guys. I mean, we'll go through the film. I mean, if my guests turn up, if they can, if you know. But we'll go through the film. And so first of all, right, the opening scene. So thank you for your super chat, Jane. Thank you. Yeah. Good evening, MX Bravo, goblins and goblets. What about this, guys? I'm not sure about, because obviously I'm using StreamYard and I'm sending a link to my guest and it's not kind of working on their end. I don't know why. They're using the Chrome browser. Strange. So once this live stream is done, then in about an hour and a half, Zack Snyder and Joe Manganiello are going to be on Twitch, and they've got some event happening. So we'll be done before that starts, so you guys get to watch both. And yes, it is my birthday, everyone. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, DJ McFuggernugs. Which Twitch channel? I'll just go to Zack Snyder's Twitter, and there'll be, I think there's a link in there. Yes, it's my birthday. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Talks Fox. Thank you. Let me check this having issues. Having issues. No, that's not telling you anything. Oh, there he is.
That's it.
Hello, David. Thank you. Welcome back to the
How's it going, man?
So we're just getting started. Thought I'd invite. So everyone is David. If you probably know David, comics artist, and I interviewed him for my on my channel some time ago. So we're just going to talk about how many times have you seen the Snyder Cut, David?
Twice.
Twice. Same here. I was supposed to watch it for a third time today, but just busy. So anyway, how have you been? You been busy with your comics?
Pretty busy. You know, still working on Bass Reeves for Allegiance Arts. So still doing comics, and soon going to be doing my own creator-owned project here soon.
All right, sweet. And I know we like usually stay in touch through Facebook. So you don't use Twitter, do you?
No.
No.
You know, there's a weird echo. Hold on a second.
Usually stay in touch through Facebook. So you don't use Twitter, do you?
No. There's a weird delay.
Hold on a second. Yeah, I can hear it.
There's a weird delay.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Is that on my end? I don't think so.
Well, there's nothing here I can see.
I'll pretend like I don't hear it.
Echo cancellation is turned on.
I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna mute it on YouTube. That's what I'm probably hearing.
Right.
All right. There we go.
100%
better.
Yeah. All right. No problem. Okay. So JN, thank you for your super chat. Happy birthday. One love, my dude. Perfect timing for a birthday. Exactly. So I was just telling everyone, David, it's actually my birthday. So
happy birthday, bro.
Thank you. So it just came around. Snyder Cut came around exactly at the right time.
So you're 21, right? You could drink?
21? I wish I was 21. Fatal J was supposed to be here, but he says he's out of town. So unfortunately, he can't make it. Do you know Fatal J? He's a comic. He says he's a comic artist, but I don't know about that.
I do not know him, but I think he's very funny. I watch him on his channel
Right.
every once and again. And on yours, he's hilarious.
So yeah, Fatal J, he's just released his Ninja, what was it called? Ninja something? Can't remember. Fourth 1000, thank you for your super chat. Found the movie entertaining, but nothing on the level of Batman v Superman. Junkie's soundtrack was not good at all, in my opinion, which really set it back. Well, since you mentioned the soundtrack, what do you think about that, David?
I loved it. I thought it was great. It got me to feel the feelings that they were looking for in every scene. I was told that you have an issue with one of the scenes where you thought it was better to have Danny Elfman music, which I can't wait to hear.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it then. So yeah, so when it comes to the overall score, I did like Junkie XL's score. I think he relies a little bit too much on the crew at War Power track, and there's like different variations of it throughout the film, and I think he relies on it a bit too much. I like that he brings back Batman v Superman score themes and Man of Steel, Wonder Woman. That's cool. There's some there's scenes where it's like guitar and drums, but it's very short and it doesn't really go anywhere, and it starts and it stops. I was like, I wasn't really feeling that. But the one scene that I preferred the Danny Elfman music was the Heroes Park.
Are you serious?
When the Flash starts running, and because in here, right, there's no energy to the music. I was very surprised. At least with Danny Elfman, I thought it was. I felt that there was some kind of grand something was happening, and then even I know everyone's going to be pissed off. Even the Christopher Reeve
no,
the little twist.
No.
I know. The little twist sounded pretty cool. I understand it's not supposed to be part of this universe. I get that, right? But I thought what Danny Elfman did was kind of cool.
All right, I'm out later. Not cool, but I'll let you live with that. You know, I thought what they did. I still got the like, oh, it's about to go down. You know, especially when he was running, and then, you know, Kal-El, Superman, just does those eyes. I still felt it. I was just like, oh. So it didn't lose any magic for me. So having the Chris Reeves music is unwarranted applause in that area, because that applause for that music was deserved towards Chris, you know, and Donner and what they did. And in a sense, Danny Elfman took it upon himself to say, screw Zack Snyder, you know, it needs help from this other thing, you know. You know, and it's like, you know, like if I'm doing comic books, you know, all of a sudden, you know, some other person comes in and says, no, draw it more like ... artist, you know, here, you know, or matter of fact, we're going to cut his out and we're going to paste it on yours. I'd be livid, you know. So I can't accept it. It's not the same character, and it's not the same person, as much as we know, obviously it is. Zach specifically said, we're going into this as if we've never seen a Superman comic before, and we're telling his story. You know what I mean? We're going, let's tell a story about this guy. So we're not using anybody else's paintbrush.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
No, you don't.
Just a personal kind of preference, I guess. Victor Gig, thank you for your super chat. Happy birthday, 42 Cut Com and Geekosity. Okay, so the Geekosity guys are in here somewhere in the chat. Jose M, I wanted to hear Zod's theme in the Superman versus League scene. I don't know. Why would you want to hear that? Because Zod's not there.
Yeah, that's weird.
The Nick Cave. There were two Nick Cave songs in the film. The first was when Lois Lane goes to visit the monument, and she's just kind of so she's still grieving, and the song is "Distant Sky" by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Now I don't know if I've been a big kind of Nick Cave fan throughout my life, and it's kind of tragic what happened to his family, because I think it was his teenage son died in an accident a few years ago, and the last two albums that Nick Cave has kind of made as part of the band, it's been very dark and very just kind of songs are about him and his wife dealing with the pain, and the song, the lyrics that play during the scene is, they told us our gods would outlive us. They told us our dreams would outlive us. They told us our gods would outlive us, but they lied. So it's a very, very emotional scene. And then there's the next song is when Aquaman is kind of going back into Atlantis, and the song is that there is a kingdom, there is a king. It's just kind of relating to Aquaman.
Now I'm going to watch those with a lot more attention now. Wow.
So, yeah, Steve says, let's cancel Film Gob. No.
Never.
Because of my Danny Elfman love. I mean, the thing is, I grew up with Danny Elfman's music as well, but yeah, I know people hate him because of what he said about the Batman theme. It's like, it's only my theme. There's only one Batman theme. I was like, Danny, what are you doing? Stop. No. But yeah. Another super chat. Thank you. Happy birthday. Check your email. Oh, it was yourself who sent me the email. Thank you, 42 Cut Productions. I'm trying not to kind of collaborate too much just now, because I'm trying to move away from YouTube just a little bit. No, I'm not like completely ending anything. I just want to spend a little bit of time away from YouTube and stuff. But yeah, so we'll go through the movie very quickly. I love the opening scene. See how his voice kind of travels across Metropolis and Gotham, and it's just kind of haunting.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I love that scene.
Made the hairs on my arm rise up.
I mean, it's just basically his voice traveling across the ocean, and it's just dark clouds, and you can barely see anything, but it's just so kind of, I love it.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Themyscira. The box is the mother box. I did, well, I'll get to that later about the dark side and the mother boxes. But yeah, there's lots of great music and song choices and soundtrack choices in the film.
Let me ask you a question. Was in that opening scene when he was yelling, I was debating with one of my sons if Henry was CG in that opening scene or not.
No, I don't think so. No.
No.
Did you?
I thought some aspects of it was. I thought maybe just his head was, just this area was real.
And I know that when you have the nightmare scene where Superman is holding Lois Lane,
yeah,
and Darkseid comes over, and that's a reused shot from Man of Steel.
Yeah, I didn't want to believe that when someone else on Facebook pointed that out to me. I'm like, no, it ain't. And then I saw it. I was like, oops.
It's all right. I mean, Zach had very kind of maybe short of time, probably couldn't bring back Henry for a scene like that. But no, thank you. Super chat from Opinionated Junkie. Robert Storms is still mad over the video you made. Well, that's Robert's problem. I'd even think about that anymore. I noticed the haters were coming out. David, you probably don't. I know you don't use Twitter, but people were trying to get my attention because they're still salty that they were wrong about the Snyder Cut, and they're trying to cause drama. Because of course, as there's so much hype this week, and there's so much discussion about the Snyder Cut, then my haters want to come after me, right? Trying to cause drama. I'm like, get out of here, losers.
All you have to do is just put your arms out and say, I won. I won. That's it. End of conversation. It's done. Let the haters hate.
Haters hate. They hate us because they ain't us.
That's right. That's for sure.
So what was your favorite scene in the film, though, David? Do you have any, maybe not one scene, maybe like top 3?
Yeah, that's like literally impossible to, but I'll tell you, there were some really emotional scenes for me where I'm not an emotional guy, but they just really touched me, where I was like, oh, Zack Snyder, you almost got me. Like the tears rolled back up. I was just like, oh, he's trying to hit me. The scene with Silas and Victor, when Silas realized that the facility was being hacked, and then he realizes, and he's on the intercom and letting them know that, oh, okay, don't, this is a false alarm and blah blah blah. And when his son comes in and he's about to do business, the way they had him walk in, it was almost like Cyborg with his football team. You know what I mean? And since Silas wasn't there, all those other times, he gets to finally see him on his team, and he accepted him, and he gave him the nod of approval of, I see you, and he changed his, plan of, trying to stop this hack or whatever. And he acknowledged his son almost for us for the first time, and kind of for him. And that was the turning point for Cyborg, because he was kind of cold and kind of empty and vapid because he's this thing. And this is when he starts to become all right with who he is and his mission in life. Man, that almost got me. I was just like on the verge. I was just like, okay, hurry up, get past this scene, Yeah. But that was really good. And all of the Amazon stuff, not any particular, moment of, oh, that was a cool shot. It was just the idea of how he chose to show these women be strong and united together. And you could tell that they've practiced their lives for so long, like any other soldier in the real world, that they're willing to die for this thing. And then they end up failing, but they're still willing to fight in the midst of this failure that's happening. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, whoa, knocked me on my butt. I was just like, it wasn't about the big picture and the special effects and how good they are and how detailed and all this other kind of stuff, because you can nitpick that stuff till the cows come home. But it's the message. And overall, that's how Zack tells there's a bigger message than what you're actually seeing, that I always liked about his stuff. Whether you like the movie or not, there's something there, because I don't like Sucker Punch, but there's still a bigger message in there,
I guess we'll jump around quite a bit in this review, so I'm not going to keep it in a like chronological.
Sure.
Comic Book Craig maybe says, just finished my third viewing, realized Bruce says congratulations to Clark. Yes, he does. So I guess Lois is pregnant. Yes, she is, and she's carrying the, I think it's a baby basket or something. So yeah, I did notice that. And you saw the pregnancy kit in her drawer. Let's see. Now, you know the Wonder Woman scene where she makes her appearance for the first time in the film, the museum scene. Mm-hmm. That scene plays out so much better, right?
Absolutely.
My friend Dr. Ooze, he thought, like in the Justice League, he thought that scene was hilarious, like so bad. Now, even though the dialogue hasn't changed much, because the guy is still like, down with modern technology and back to the Dark Ages, and it's like these guys don't really have anything to do with the main story. Mm-hmm. They're just random terrorists. But at least when Wonder Woman, she's got rid of the bomb, and the guy's like, oh well, I might as well kill these kids, right? It's like he picks up the gun, and it's like empty, so he picks up the machine gun, and it goes on a little bit longer. It's a little bit darker, more intense. The threat is there, and then Wonder Woman comes down. He was shooting with one bullet, kind of one bullet kind of mode on the gun. I don't know what that means, and then he turns it into rapid fire, and so she does her thing, and then she says, and he's like, I don't believe it, and she's like, believe it. And the funny thing about Wonder Woman is, like Zack Snyder's Wonder Woman, like you remember in the first Wonder Woman film where she destroys the top half of a church just to take out one sniper?
Yeah.
And then here she's like, I know she saved a greater damage from happening, but she does destroy like this big chunk of the building by just to take out one guy.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny, right? I kind of find that funny with the Wonder Woman, but like I say, that scene just was a bit more intense, and it kind of fixed it for myself. I don't know about Dr. Ooze, and I'm sure he's watched it by now. But so from there we go to.
I think she hated the outside of that building. So Wonder Woman hated that outside of the building. Diana, she's like, oh, this is designed terribly. Bow! That's okay.
Fourth, thank you for your super chat. I promise you I love the film. Darkseid plans to invade Earth at the end. He was already beat easily in the history lesson when he had 3 mother boxes. You better hope nobody brings an axe again. Now, there was something about the mother boxes. Like, I didn't understand why did the new, Darkseid and everyone, why did they just leave? Why did they never come back? Someone explained it very well on Twitter. Let me just find it. Let's see. Did you notice the granny goodness? It's very quick, so I guess nobody picked it up, but someone on Twitter took a screenshot. You know, when the truck rams into, or well, the accident happens with Iris West, car crash, just before this truck, it hits a hot dog kind of stand.
Yeah.
And it says, Granny Goodness Tube Steaks.
What?
On the cart.
That's funny.
Granny Goodness is there. Very, very small, but it's someone took a screenshot of it.
That's hilarious.
Not bad. Very. There's an Easter egg there.
I think there was a Marvel Easter egg also in the scene when Superman was hitting the stone obelisks of all the names that of the people in Metropolis who died.
Oh yeah.
Ben Parker is in there.
Someone said, oh, There's Zack Snyder giving more respect to Ben Parker than Marvel did.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
So about the mother boxes, this is Alwyn on Twitter. He says, so I rewatched the movie again, and reason for why or how Darkseid apparently just forgot the location of the anti-life equation, and it's not as easy as I thought it would be. So in the Age of Heroes, we see Yuxas in search of the anti-life equation. So he conquers worlds, builds his parademon army, and finally is ready. Now, the mother boxes essentially act as a GPS, right? Thus guiding him to the exact spot where the anti-life equation is carved onto the surface, right, of our planet. Now, Yuxas lost the battle. Almost all sorcerers except Desad are dead, and Yuxas is knocked out. He's kind of lost consciousness. The parademons leave the boxes and retreat with an unconscious Yuxas, right, returning to Apocalypse in their own, get part of the galaxy. So basically, Yuxas found the anti-life equation's suspected location, right, but could not confirm its existence as he did not actually acquire it. Right? So in that history lesson, he didn't actually acquire the anti-life equation. Now, with the mother boxes, Yuxas had the GPS-like guidance to go from place to place. Remember how the boxes talk to Steppenwolf, but with them, Yuxas cannot pinpoint the exact location of our universe in the multiverse, right? So he can't find our planet again. Now the mother boxes are asleep and are hidden. So after claiming the Omega beams and becoming Darkseid, he says he turned 100,000 worlds to dust looking for the anti-life equation, looking for those who robbed him of his glory. So what I understood is that out of the infinite number of universes without the mother boxes he's lost, only thing he can do is go door to door to each universe in the hope to finding it. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was a bit puzzled, like, why do they not go back? But now that the mother boxes are awake, they're like, oh, let's get the mother boxes.
Yeah.
But the bonus is they just realized, oh wait, this is the planet where the anti-life equation is also carved into the surface. So that was pretty cool.
There's also a little bit of ego and pride of why he wanted to go back, because he was defeated there and he's never faced defeat before. Yeah.
And someone also says that Desad and Darkseid, they probably knew Steppenwolf would fail.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they sent him.
Yeah. I think that too. Absolutely.
Or sure. They knew they could kind of use him in some way.
Yeah.
So that was funny. Fatal J is here. He's giving us a super chat, but he can't turn up. Awesome review so far. Hate I will miss being on the panel. Get your ass in here, Fatal J. Get your ass in. I love Peter Guinness. His voice is amazing as Desad. I think he's like, even normally his voice is awesome, but then you add that kind of modulation and distortion, distort it in some way. And Darkseid as well. Ray Porter, unbelievable.
What they did with Steppenwolf and actually giving him an actual motivation changed the whole dynamic also. There's so much more now, because I hate bringing up the Justice League version, but I didn't understand his motivations in the Justice League and why he was doing whatever he did. And as evil as Steppenwolf is, you felt the way they did it, you felt sorry for him, because he's trying to work his way back into the good graces and he'll do anything. And you almost feel bad that Superman lasered off one of his horns and then Wonder Woman cuts his head off. But in the same breath is like, that's exactly what he deserves. You know.
I'm surprised everyone's saying, yeah, feeling sorry for Steppenwolf. I mean, it's like I just thought he was just more fearsome, just more kind of scary as well, and and the effects on him are so good, especially his armor. And
the crazy thing is that what they did on the other one was to try to make him look more humanoid, which didn't work. And this one felt more human, just again by his backstory and motivations, and also even in some of the designs, because they made him act with his eyes and stuff, and better, that you kind of again felt for him in his, beaten dog syndrome. It was weird, so kudos for Zack on that.
I did tell Zack that just the way they communicate through the kind of monolith, and when Desaad comes out and it's like dripping of molten fire. Mm-hmm. I just thought that was such a good kind of visual and a way of communicating between each other.
You know how they do props like Han Solo and the cryogenic freeze and stuff that you could buy and all that kind of stuff? Yeah. They should do that with Darkseid and have lights in it and stuff with the oh man, I'd buy one.
I would. So when Steppenwolf arrives and fights the Amazons, that's a pretty cool scene. Mm-hmm. That's the first we first get to see him, and then the fight with he's throwing horses, he's beating the shit out of these Amazons, he's got all these arrows stuck to him. I thought it was superb.
Can we talk about the art of Zack Snyder?
Sure, go for it.
We often hear from the haters that don't like his work and stuff like that, and say he doesn't use color and stuff. This thing was filled with color. Even Steppenwolf himself was filled with color, even though it was all chromed out. They put all these nice colors that were bouncing and reflective lights off of them, and some of it looked like the inside of a seashell, where it has the multiple colors and stuff like that. I was like, look at all that color, it's beautiful. He's just not heavy-handed like some other Marvel movies that we've seen, where you end up getting a seizure from looking at. He knows how to subtly do things.
Yeah, I mean, I think people will still point to like scenes that are, that have the blue tint to them, or they have a whatever kind of grayish kind of tint to them, and they're like, oh, this is Zack Snyder. Man, you have to look at, what's the environment, what is the lighting? There's a lot of kind of overcast scenes, clouds. What do you expect?
He's trying to evoke a mood.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about Batman, Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck? What do you think about his performance? His kind of, I thought he was a better Bruce Wayne in this film than a Batman. How did you feel?
Well, that was the whole point from Batman v Superman, where he was a crestfallen hero. Like, he wasn't the person that he started out to being. He completely became the Batman. He was Batman in Batman v Superman. That was the point. He became the monster instead of using the monster. And this one is a redemption story for him, coming back into a faith and hope in mankind, and not just merely on his own, I have to do it, and I can't use other people, and this, that, and the other, and this is just Batman's battle. No. Superman opened his eyes to who he was when he started, and he came back around. And he came back around to, like, I'm using this as a tool. It shouldn't be me. It's a tool to get things done. And he became the best of both of them in this movie.
Yeah. So I mean, so yeah, like I say, with Batman v Superman, he was very, very dark, very angry, and I guess part of me kind of misses that Batman, but I can understand for the story, he's more, his Bruce Wayne kind of takes over, and he's trying to bring these heroes together. Now
that actually falls into my, my subtextual thesis on Zack Snyder's movies, that it's basically the Wizard of Oz.
No, yeah, you did. So people, you want to talk about it? Yeah, sure. Because you've had this little thing.
This one kind of confirms it even more, because to me, it Joss Whedon, he couldn't avoid it, in his cut of it, because the way the characters, that grouping of characters, you can't not see it. But basically, the subtext of, this whole arc from Man of Steel to now is basically, it's the Wizard of Oz. So Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman is our raven-haired Dorothy of this entire story. He's lost from the world and home he yearns for, and Lois is the key to that world, right? And Barry Allen is our Scarecrow, the Flash. He's a scattered-brained genius who doesn't know it yet. His life is a patchwork, kind of like his costume is very much like the Scarecrow. You know what I'm saying? And so it has all the stitches in it and stuff. It's very much, the Scarecrow. And, Victor Stone is obviously, our Tin Man. To quote Zack Snyder, he's the heart of the film. He's a cold metal man, realizing he still does have a heart after his, father sacrifices himself, and he realizes that, he starts to realize, okay, I'm not just this metal, I do have feelings behind this, and I am a man, and, Arthur Curry is the Aquaman, obviously the cowardly lion in this story. He's afraid to take up his crown and birthright, and scared to lead his own people, the Atlanteans.
Yeah.
And I give kudos again to Zach for casting him, Jason Momoa, because he visually looks like a lion man in real life. And he also could pass for, Poseidon, the, Greek god, which most of the other Justice League characters could also fit into those types of slots as well. Hercules, Athena's, Hermes, all those types of characters. And Diana Prince is basically Wonder Woman, who's basically Glinda the Good Witch, because she is the voice of reason in the story, and she has all this power, and she led us through this thing. She actually even narrated the past story, kind of like what Glinda did, in The Wizard of Oz, to let Dorothy know what's going on with the witch and all this other kind of stuff, her sister. And Bruce Wayne is the all-powerful Oz, and when we find out who the Oz it really is, he's just a normal man, and he just has all these things to make people think he's scarier than what he actually is. Once he takes off that thing, he's not so scary, and we find out that, he comes back to having faith in mankind because of our Dorothy in the story, Superman, and he's energized again, and he goes back to the person that he, like I stated before, he used to be, you know, and he's the one that gathered them all together. He's the cause, you know. And Steppenwolf is basically the Wicked Witch of this story, and the parademons are the flying monkeys, you know.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
you know, and
they're loving this comparison. Everyone's
yeah,
loving this comparison.
good, good. And Lois Lane again is the key, you know. Lois Lane, she's the key, you know. Superman said, you know, you are my world. You know, that's what Dorothy is trying to get back to, is her world. She loves that, her own world, and she wants help from these extraordinary people that she just happened to meet, and she's starting to have a kinship with them, you know. And the extra tidbits, you know, of the larger arc of what Zack Snyder did is that he used the tornado in Man of Steel, just like what was in The Wizard of Oz, to change his life to get us to this other place, you know. And it changed the course of Clark's life, right? You know. And then also in Batman v Superman, what was Lex looking for? And he said he found, you know, in the bottom of the Indian Ocean, the Emerald City. Another reference to The Wizard of Oz. So it's all right there. You know, that's the subtext of the story.
Well done. That's awesome, David. We want to give David a clap there. So you've been, I mean, speaking of, you know, Wonder Woman, right? Mm-hmm. I would say this is like a proper sequel, like a much more of a Wonder Woman sequel than
hell yes,
1984.
This.
So I think everyone loves Warrior Diana more than
absolutely.
80s
like
Diana.
Warner Brothers better get their collective heads out of their butts and get back on board with what Zack laid down for you, because it's not something that they should run away from. They should run towards. Matter of fact, I personally think Patty Jenkins was already running away in the first movie, because Zack laid down some things in Wonder Woman that would have explained certain things about her powers, her abilities, her weapons, and all this kind of stuff that she just ignored, you know. Because if you actually go back and watch Batman v Superman, Zack did some things, even with her weaponry, that logically doesn't make sense if it was just merely iron. You know what I mean? There was a part of the fight when she's fighting Doomsday, when she drops her weapons, and you could hear voices coming from the weapons as if they were enchanted. Now, if they would have explained that in Patty's movies, that their weapons are enchanted because they have sorceresses or witches or whatever you want to say that are enchanting their weapons, that are making them exceptional, you know, you could explain why her mom could shoot an arrow, you know, hundreds, if not thousands of miles away from Paradise Island. And also why when Superman picks up the giant statue of his head and throws it, and Wonder Woman just hits it with a slice and it disintegrates. It's because her weapons are powered. And I'm sure Zack he's leaning into it, but he shouldn't have to explain it. You should actually instinctively go, oh yeah, her weapons are enchanted. They're powered somehow. But Patty, in her great wisdom, chose not to, you know, go down that line and explain it more when we're on Paradise Island and the opportunity to explain that. Even the old TV show explained what her gauntlets were, and her belt and her headpiece and breastplate all meant individual things, not just merely the whip, you know, the lasso, you know. So you could tell I have issues with Wonder Woman. So, but Zack nailed it. everything that he did with her, I'm like, yes, that's it right there, 100%. You know.
Thank you for your super chat again. Fourth, was there a fight sequence in Justice League that compared or rivaled any fights from Man of Steel and BVS for you? I'd say that the final battle, pretty much as soon as they get to the Steppenwolf's base and everything from there on, I think that's as good as doing the Doomsday fight with Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. I think it's as good as that. Yeah, I would say so. How about you, David?
I still don't think nothing tops Batman in that warehouse. They could put that on a loop for 45 minutes and I'd be like, no. I like everything that Zack does because he's a very man's man when it comes to that, very visceral, and everything looks like it hurts, So I'm pretty much all right with everything he does when it comes to the action scenes.
Leon says, David, I'm going to paraphrase your Wizard of Oz analogy and quote you by name. Sir, your perspective on Zack's DCEU is brilliant. There you go. You got a fan there, David.
Thank you, sir.
Let's talk about The Flash. But Ezra Miller, wow. I said in my written review, I put it up on Letterboxd, where a lot of these actors and characters in Justice League, it was considered like these guys were a joke, an embarrassment. Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Ezra Miller. And in this film, they've been totally 180 redeemed. And Ezra Miller especially, he's still eccentric, still still the main kind of humor point of the film, like humorous, the comedy and everything. Mm-hmm. But it just kind of feels better. And the scene where he saves Iris West it's probably my favorite, and the music choice, and his kind of jokes as well. I thought he was awesome, and no brunch. Right, no brunch nonsense.
I'm trying to delete this from my mind, all of this stuff, but you keep bringing it up.
No. Oh, it's like a bat cave. Nothing like that. Right.
So embarrassing.
And just mainly through him and the interactions with the other members, I thought he was awesome. And
I'd like to point out that I don't think Zack put like jokes like what Whedon did. He put humor. There's a difference between where you could feel it coming and the ba-dum-bum, that kind of thing. And Zack has a humor that he understood to put in that is a natural outcropping of a flowing conversation, and some of these other movies and stuff like that, you could feel like, oh, here's this, sarcastic guy that's a derivative of Tony Stark or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. And all the humor has to be that, you know what I mean? And here comes the snarky thing, and everything is sarcasm. And I'm like, that passes for humor or comedy, and I'm just like, I think the humor that Ezra had is because his mind is racing so much that he just blurts out stuff, but it's still in some strange way controlled, even in the scene when they're devising the plan and, Barry says something, kind of funny, because he wants to lighten the mood, and Cyborg kind of checks him. And I was just like, see, that worked, it wasn't ham-handed.
Yeah. Next up, Cyborg, Ray Fisher. I thought, again, just the more to him, better fleshed out. Got the relationship between, the kind of full understanding of what going on between him and his father. And I loved how he smashes the tape recorder. And then at the end, he puts it all back together. That was a superb. It's a little scene, a little touch, but I love that. And Scylla Stone, played by Joe Morton, a legend. I just thought it was a great so many great castings and performances. The Ryan Choi, who's you see that scene where Ryan Choi asks Scylla Stone, "Do you think Batman has something to do with the mother boxes?" And Scylla Stone goes, "No, I don't think so." There's a look on Ryan's face that's like makes me go, is he kind of up to something? Is he planning something? I kind of noticed that. I don't know if that goes anywhere, but and then at the end he's the kind of the lead scientist on the project at the end. So I want to see where that goes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Ray Fisher Redemption, Jose M. Now with Aquaman, right, Jason Momoa, even I don't think his kind of arc and his character doesn't really kind of change drastically from Justice League, but Mera, right? She has Amber Heard has an English accent in this.
I liked it. I like
it too. Thank you for your super chat, Raul.
Oh, I like her dolphin talk.
Oh yeah. Which is like, okay, so they can communicate when they're in water. They can communicate in that way, and then they can also have
which is brilliant, better than the movie.
Yeah. So Amber Heard with an English accent that's for some reason got abandoned, and she just talks normally in the Justice League and in Aquaman. So there's another mess up there. Probably, what's his name?
And they made her hair like Ariel from Little Mermaid red. I was just like, what's going on? This is crazy.
So it's probably another, because I have a few followers who are like, nah, Aquaman's not canon to them. Yeah. So
Oh, when they showed the first scene, I guess it was underwater, and there was like a octopus swimming by. I said, I wonder if he's looking for some bongos to play.
I'll admit I didn't mind Aquaman and its kind of goofiness, but I'd like to have seen what James Wan, if he was kind of keeping in mind Snyder's kind of Snyderverse.
He didn't give up.
What would have happened with Aquaman?
He didn't care about what Zack Snyder was doing.
Let's see. So the battle between the League and Steppenwolf in the underground tunnels. Yep, no Flash falling on Wonder Woman's boobs, nothing like that. Again, just kind of a little bit more fleshed out, and just I heard from Grace Randolph that scene where Flash saves the group of people from the falling debris, that scene was finished and they still cut it out. It's like, why would you? Why? It's an awesome. I think Joss Whedon's excuse was nobody would know what was happening. They think Flash would be flying. Like, what? No.
I think they just want to keep undermining Zack into making it seem like his heroes don't save people. Yeah. That's just me being a conspiracy theorist.
I'm hearing our second guest might be coming in. He says he's jumping in, but I don't know where he is. Might be late. It's his birthday as well, by the way. So
oh my goodness!
We have
happy birthday, whomever you are.
I do like the League talking about the mother box. They're having their little meeting, and Cyborg kind of explains what the mother box is. See what I love about this film is you're developing Batman further, or Bruce Wayne. You're developing Wonder Woman further. You're introducing you're introducing the Flash and Aquaman for their solo films, right? Not fully kind of a backstory, but you get enough of it to kind of look forward to their solo film, and you're almost getting a cyborg origin film, and then you're introducing the new gods, so all of that in 4 hours, and it's done so well. Chris Terry's done an amazing job, and with split into different chapters, kind of eases it a bit. It kind of eases the flow of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like it was 4 hours?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. We sat through it, me and my sons and my wife, like just straight, and we had soda, chicken wings, chips, dips, all that stuff. We didn't even go to the bathroom. That's how much we were sitting through it.
Because I got the invite from HBO Max, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was me and a whole lot of other people, fans. I think because we had a Vero account,
mm-hmm.
and they just took our emails and they sent everyone invites to access the film on like 3-4 days before the official release.
Mm-hmm.
So I was supposed to get the email, like we were all given the time, and that would have been 10 o'clock at night, UK time.
Okay.
But then there was a Microsoft issue,
mm-hmm.
Some kind of maintenance delay, and so by the time I went to bed, I was like, nah, I can't start a 4-hour film at midnight. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I woke up 6 o'clock in the morning. I saw the email. All right, cool. Got to bed. Started watching the film at 7 o'clock in the morning. So that was good.
You did the Dr. Dre 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning. Did I delete the David Williams interview? No, I'm sure it's on my channel. Yeah, I'm sure it is. If you go into Collision Talk playlist, it should be there. I hope Zack changed the plot to the sequel so we can't guess it. I love the idea of coming in fresh. I shouldn't have read those storyboards. See, I mean, that is the thing. It's hard. It's one of those films where we've had storyboards, we've heard rumors, we've had photographs, trailers, TV spots. Zack wanted as much information out there to get people hyped. And
can I ask your viewer a question? Did you have a problem when you knew Doomsday was going to be in BVS? Because we know how that ends, right? So you shouldn't, just because you know a general idea doesn't mean you know the left turns and the the hard stops where they're going to be. You know what I mean? Those are and how you get there should be the excitement, not what you actually know. Because as comic book followers, we generally know everything. That's why we love looking at trailers, and we can't wait until we see the next trailer. We just want to make sure they're getting it right, But once you're in the midst of it, they could go left of what you think, but still have the general story still intact.
Yeah. Thank you for your super chat, Benson's. So happy Zack recognized your work. I love this movie. The nods to Atom, Yalan Gur, Gardner Fox, Linda Reed, Crispus Allen, and the pregnancy test. To be honest, I don't know who these characters are. Linda Reed, Crispin Allen, Yalan Gur.
Yalan Gur is the Green Lantern that got killed early on.
In the history lesson?
Yes, in the history lesson. That's that Green Lantern. There
was Kilowog in the.
Yeah, that was the other Green Lantern that ends up dying. And Gardner Fox is one of the creators of the Flash, Golden Age Flash.
So there was a lot of discussion about Green Lantern in the film, but there's 2 dead lanterns. So
yeah.
I hope you guys are satisfied with that.
Yeah.
And
they're not.
Tell you what, I loved what's his name? Barry Allen's father, Billy Crudup.
Yeah,
he's Barry Allen's father. I thought it's just 2 short scenes, but he was so good. So kind of his presence and his kind of acting is so great. I love that.
I was closing my eyes and I was still thinking Dr. Manhattan. I have another theory, you know, like how I kind of blew your mind with the whole Wizard of Oz thing. I have another thing that could possibly blow your mind with Flash and possibly Dr. Manhattan. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. Remember when Flash was going into the Speed Force and all that? No one ever asked the question, why did Zack choose to have Barry Allen's, you know, electrical signature be blue? Unlike every other iteration, they make it yellow, but they made his blue. And when he was doing his final run to turn back time, to me, I think Zack may have been doing a wink to Dr. Manhattan and where he actually gets his power from, the power source of where he talks about how he sees time not linearly. He sees it from all different perspectives and stuff. He lives in a different kind of time zone, so to speak. And when Barry was running, he was running towards that. He was running towards the edge of creation when it's being created. And when he finally zapped into that thing, he zapped into that power source being the Big Bang, creation, God, whatever it is. It was blue, right? And he zapped into it, you know, kind of that Godspeed. You know, you ever heard that term, Godspeed? You know, he went up to that. And that's when he was able to see, you know, pinpoint where he had to be, you know, and it's that power of nonlinear time that he understand and ran into and was able to get back to Victor and touch him and energize him to separate the mother boxes. But I think that's Zack's nerd was showing right there. I think he was, if I could ever talk to him, I'd ask him, I said, were you trying to connect, you know, your Dr. Manhattan with this, you know, in that power source?
No, so did I miss something? One step too far. Just hopping in to support you, homie. Wait, heads up. Shorty's behind you. No, he's not there. He's still locked up. Jose M. Gobs got clip out of these. All right, clip out these Brohawk 3Ds. I will, yes. That's a good idea. Natia, make your own future, make your own past. It's all right now. As the music for that scene, that I will give it to Junkie XL there. That's a sweet piece of music. Let's see. So yeah, we see the nightmare scene, a new nightmare scene, where Cyborg sees, like, he has a vision of Wonder Woman burning, Darkseid getting the anti-life. Man, that scene where Darkseid, he turns and he has the eyes glow. You know, he's got the anti-life now, and it's just so many kind of memorable visuals that Zack Snyder creates. And that's, I guess, on the T-shirt from Alex Pardee, I think, who created that T-shirt based on that kind of image, I think. So I think that T-shirt's kind of in demand. It should be. I think someone said, you know, when a Wonder Woman says, Kal-El, no. Kal-El, no. That was kind of slowed down or something, or kind of in the Justice League, and that what's made it kind of sound silly. But here it's actually kind of much quicker. So I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, it's still there. I just love Gal Gadot's accent. I can pick out so many clips from the film she's in, just kind of not making fun of her. I want to do a video, like a compilation I'm not going to make fun of her. I just love her accent. So good. Oh, here he is, our second guest, Uche.
Ooh, what up? What up? Gob, my man.
Mr. Birthday Boy.
Yeah, it's the birthday today.
Happy birthday. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you, man. Brohawk.
So,
nice to meet
Uche, what have you been up to today?
Man, I've been I got served some great breakfast, and now I like dozed off for a little bit. I mean, I was up pretty late last night on a live stream, so dozed off, got back up, and I was like, because I had set an alarm, I'm like, all right, I got to go on the film gob, and I was a little bit late, so I apologize for that.
That's okay. Thanks for dropping in. So yeah, we're just kind of going through the film, the Snyder Cut, talking about our favorite scenes, little Easter eggs, characters.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done like any kind of spoiler talk of this film?
I haven't done any spoiler talk yet. I was gonna do breakdown. I was gonna do like reviews and break down each chapter, but I haven't done any like true spoiler talk yet. So this is my first time doing it. So.
Since you're joining late, we've discussed quite a bit. How about you? Like, is there any kind of top scenes for you in the movie? Well, I know there's so many to choose from, but just maybe 2 or 3 you could talk about.
Yeah. Like I would say overall, my favorite scene, the one that I've like rewound back over and over and over, is the final battle when Flash makes the move to save everybody after the Unity sinks. Something about that was just so epic. It felt like how it would happen in the comic book. The heroes were all battling. They had Steppenwolf on the ropes, but the Unity synced, and it's kind of like, it's really dramatic to see that moment where you're like, wow, they didn't do it. They didn't like get it done. And technically the Unity killed the whole Justice League. And Flash was that last piece, and he's able to vibrate and phase. So he went into phase mode immediately when he saw the Unity effect. And I feel like Ezra Miller's Flash was like the biggest. I feel like he had the biggest, like him and Cyborg had the biggest kind of reversal of interest and benefited the most from the Snyder Cut, actually, because we all know that their characters were very diluted and just kind of somewhat unnecessary in the 2017. But in this one, man, there was so much in way of the stakes that they were involved. Everybody had their own kind of role that became essential to the league being successful. And it's like, it's kind of amazing, because if this were a Marvel movie, there would have been no like tease of defeat like that quickly. You know what I mean? Like you always feel like, they're gonna win. They're gonna win. It just always plays out like that. But in this, I was like actually surprised. I was like, oh no, they actually like failed. And I felt like that scene for the Flash was just so epic, because it was literally him having to break the rule he had set for himself to not mess with time. And he messed with time to save everybody. Yeah. And now where does that lead him to? That he's had a taste of that. Does he think, oh, well, I saved the league. I saved like the multiverse. Maybe I can go and try and save my mom, And that's where you can have this entire, an entire story arc branch off for him. After that, my next favorite scene, definitely loved that history lesson, like being kind of reimagined with Darkseid out there, and giving Darkseid, adding a little motivation to Darkseid himself, and how he has been on this quest to find Earth, because I don't think that he knew that he was on Earth in the history lesson. I don't think that he knew, because he found anti-life, and then he got defeated. And so having to retreat, not having those mother boxes and retreating back to their realm, I just really felt like when Steppenwolf then got that vision and was able to find that anti-life was on Earth, that kind of confirmed for me that Darkseid didn't really know that he was on Earth, and he'd been running through planets trying to find Earth again. And that's where, because I've seen some people bring up points about that, like, well, why did he, not really understanding that.
We were talking about that earlier because there's someone on Twitter kind of broke it down quite at length, and we were talking about that, how they forgot where they were and why they came back now. And
well, it was 5,000 years prior, so they just didn't know that it was Earth. They just knew that it was the next planet up. And then when they probably boom tubed out of there back into their own realm, they didn't have the mother boxes, so it was kind of like they didn't have their GPS to find their way back. Yeah, so they just didn't know where they were. And Steppenwolf
just lost a whole lot of blood also. So
oh man, hey, I texted Zach about that. I was like, how about Darkseid getting his ass kicked like that? Like, it was like he got his ass kicked. Like, he was like the dude who came out all strong and tough, and they dragging him back in, and he's like, he passed out. He was like, oh, I'm losing blood. I'm dizzy. I'm dizzy.
They probably went back to Apocalypse, and he probably got a good smacking. Like, what the hell were you up to? Bam.
Oh man, because obviously he's Uxas at that point, so he's kind of trying to create his own lane in the New Gods universe, and I think that having that kind of that history lesson had we all felt like it was good in 2017, but knowing what we know, it was obviously switched out with Steppenwolf, a little bit more limited in the perspective that they provided for it, but with Snyder Cut, I really do think that gives such a more refined dynamic to the storytelling to have that whole thing play out, and it had that Lord of the Rings feel for real. So that was I
got like, watching Man of Steel for the first time and just that Krypton scene, I got Lord of the Rings kind of vibe straight away, and I could understand. Oh man, this is DC Universe is going to be on this kind of level. I was like, I'm in. Benson, thank you for your super chat. You're just kind of explaining about the different characters. Yeah, Ryan Choi becomes the Atom. And let's see, Raghav, thank you for your super chat. The music that plays when the Flash saves the Justice League is fire.
Yeah, I agree. That music, like that, the score in this movie was amazing. It really did. Junkie XL did a heck of a job, just getting such a having such a everything in this movie was just epic. Just the epicness of everything was just like on level 20. Like I didn't move off my couch when I watched this for the first time. I just was literally just sitting there like, oh wow, this thing just keeps on going. Like, we just keep on moving.
I know some people, like, they're kind of mixed feelings about the Junkie XL score, but you have to understand he had to come back in. I know me a little bit for just one scene, a couple of scenes, but he had to come back and do a new score.
He had to come back and do a new one?
What?
He had to come back and do a new score?
Not a new score, but he had to do new tracks because Zach wanted new scenes and some new music. So I think he had a finished score, but he had to come back and do some new tracks. So it's interesting. But
no, I felt like the score was pretty spot on. It felt, just felt like it fit. I know there was like a new Batman score, which, man, I missed the one from BVS. To me, that's like a definitive Batman score from BVS, like that metal pounding.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Funnyman, I wanted Yuxas to go wild, jumping and crushing 1v1 against Ares, exploding mountains. But nah, Ares kicked Yuxas's ass. I'm sorry.
Oh, he
Ares
kicked the
won.
shit out of him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was Yuxas.
God of War, I guess. He's ready. He's been ready. He was born for this. Literally.
Jose M says, didn't he use some of the old score for Alita? Did he do Alita Battle Angel? I don't remember. Did he? Can't remember. Junkie had used some tracks for Alita already. I see.
Probably use some riffs from it, if anything.
A lot of film composers do that. I mean, have to admit it. John Williams reuses certain kind of scores from his old films, and Danny Elfman as well. But a 4-hour comic book movie that's been well received by the fans. Yes, it's surprising that I'm seeing like even Marvel fans are saying how much they enjoyed this film.
It's made converts.
Yeah. I think that the unique thing about this movie is that, from I think that when they talked about it early on, and I remember we heard the comments of it being like unwatchable. You know what I mean? And I always thought to myself, unwatchable is a pretty strongly worded like description of a movie. So if it's unwatchable, it would have had to have been worse than what we got in 2017, because that was unwatchable, like on the borderline of utterly unwatchable. So that means that this would have had to been a more discombobulated film than that. And to see what we got, and to see how like right along, like it felt like a Justice League comic book. Like it actually had a lot of elements that you would find in these greater Justice League stories throughout the years. And I think it just goes to show like filmmaking and the way that Zack Snyder approaches filmmaking, especially with these characters, is he starts from a core idea of how their stories translate from from stories like Kingdom Come, stories like Crisis on Infinite Earths, like how those conflicts are always set in certain pacing styles, where you set up the problem, and then each character has an arc that sinks into that problem, and then they come together, and them together is just iconic. And we got a lot of iconic shots and a lot of iconic moments once they came together and united. And each character had a reason to unite. It wasn't just, oh, let's go save the world. They had a reason personally, like a personal investment in it. And that really like gives it makes you care that much more for what how it's going to resolve. I mean, dude, being able to get Victor Stone's actual like personal motivations in line, and how he's dealing with his new powers, and how he's dealing with the relationship between him and his father, and the anger that he has because of him to a certain extent blaming his father for his death and for his mom's death, because he died. I mean, yeah, he wasn't technically dead, but he died, and that mother box brought he was reborn through that, and coming to grips with his powers, like that it made it so much, we were able to get so much closer to him when we're looking at how he's now like kind of perceiving those powers and trying to find ways that he can help people with those powers, the way that he helped that single mother. That was like that just mini storyline that was just kind of added into his origin that makes him a more relatable character. Like he sees with the power that he has, that he can help the everyday person and change their life, and he actually is able to kind of almost be a guardian angel for somebody, because he's following their story, and he followed this single mother's story and all of the struggle that she was having, and he saw that he could change that. I thought that was like such a great thing, great part of his origin.
Just the visual of him kind of increasing her bank balance was so cool. Like as he goes,
it was so cool. And you know, you see that woman is at the end of her rope. You know what I mean? Like she's literally at the end of her rope. She's standing in front of an ATM machine, basically just trying to take out whatever's left, so they can survive the night. And he changes their path, and I think that kind of is the beginning point of opening his eyes to a new like way that he can live his life and help people. And you know, it's just a lot of beautiful storylines in it that you know, everybody had a motive for being a member, for coming together to try and defeat Steppenwolf.
Yep. Fourth, yes, we know A Beautiful Lie by Hans Zimmer comes from Tears of the Sun. Yeah, you can reuse that for Batman v Superman. I just want to talk about the ending, the epilogue of you know, the Snyder Cut, where it is very kind of jarring that you know, with after the Lex Luthor Deathstroke scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? No, like I'm not Zach, so I don't want to tell him how to do things, but I just thought it would be cool that the film ends. You know how like Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, Aquaman, they have these kind of nice kind of end credit animations, and have some kind of part of the credits kind of rolling as the animation plays. I think that would be kind of cool. Straight after, so that would have been that would come after the Lex and Deathstroke scene. I know the visual that I would use, you know, the little kind of animation that came out recently with the Batman. He's tied to the pearls.
The pearls have him tied to he's tied down by that.
Yeah, and all kind of art, and the Tom Waits song.
Oh, you mean like that kind of animation with the end credits?
I think that clip, that kind of animation that they released would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been a perfect spot to put it.
And then
I think maybe he wanted to keep, you know, he wanted to kind of make it simple because of relation to it being for autumn, and then that music that was, you know, from the Leonard Cohen track that was played at the end. I think if it was a normal circumstance, he probably would have got that animation like effect, but I think he wanted to, you know, have a clear dedication through that music.
It's just that because it goes from that to the nightmare scene, and then the Batman, and then the Bruce Wayne.
The Bruce Wayne Martian Manhunter.
I think that animation to split it up, and then once that animation's over, we go into a mid credits.
Yeah. I think if they fit it in somewhere before the end, that would have been dope.
Yeah. So it's just a little. These are just like little things that I was thinking. No.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think about the nightmare scene, the Batman and Joker? Some people calling the Batman Joker, the best kind of live action face off kind of scene.
I think again oh, go ahead, bro.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't go that far, but it was good. It was good. I think Christopher Nolan's scene with Batman and Joker, and not the scene in the interrogation room, but on the roof where he's upside down speaking to Batman after he caught him. Mm-hmm. There's so much in that little dialogue. That was more Batman for Christopher Nolan in the entire of the rest of his movies. That was so perfect. I was just like, whoa. Everything else you could throw away as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying really throw it away, but he nailed it right there. But this future scene, it was really good. It was close to that, in my opinion, but not right there.
One step too far. Thank you for your super chat. No more exposition by Wonder Woman. I'm still reeling from that never-ending run-on sentence that Wonder Woman 1984 dumped all over Zimmer's Beautiful Lie. So thank you for your super chat there.
I think the interaction between Bruce and Joker was, I thought it was actually pretty well done. I wouldn't, you know, it's, people want to rank those kind of interactions. I don't think there's a way to really rank them, because each one is kind of using a different dynamic that relationship is built on. Like the Joker in Nolan's films and his head-to-head like psychological kind of melee with Batman is based more in Batman's values, like and what he stands for in that moment. But with Snyder's, I feel like it's more based in Batman's insecurities and Batman's failures, you know, because at this point, this is a Batman who has lost Robins. This is a Batman who lost Lois. This is a Batman who, to a certain extent, you know, is really being took to task by the Joker in a very, you know, obviously very like ironic, in a somewhat ironic way. I mean, Joker is literally telling him that, you know, you're not, you claim to be this righteous character, but you failed in so many different ways because your inability to actually like step up to the plate yourself and take and put yourself in direct risk, you know. And then when he told him, why'd you send a young boy to do a man's job, and gave him that look, I was like, hoo. Batman, he just got right to the core of it. He put a dagger in Batman's heart with that one. But Batman came back with some fucking solid shit of his own. He's like, shit, Harley Quinn, motherfucker. She died in my arms, and she made me promise to kill you, and I will kill you. Like there's that, you could see that. I thought that was really, I just thought it was well done. I don't think you need to compare it to other interactions, but it was a very well done sequence that kind of pit their psychological wits against each other.
Yeah. So did Joker set them up? And also, is that card a get out of jail free card?
I think
I don't know about setting up. I don't know how we can tell that just yet. Well, or you mean because when Superman arrives, he's laughing?
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, that's a story that we're not going to find out until much later.
Yeah. I think that I don't think he set him up. I think the Joker is kind of like that. Is kind of like the Smeagol, right? At this point, he's kind of like that ghoul that Superman is not even going to consider even. He doesn't care about Joker. He's not gonna. Joker's not gonna attack him, and he's not gonna, you know, really give him much. He's not gonna really give the Joker much of his attention, anyways. The Joker is kind of living on the outside of this entire situation. I feel like he's more a commentator of it than a participant. Because if Cyborg already knew that they were kind of exposed. And he told him, like, you know, he will find us. He's looking for us as we speak. So we need to hurry up. And I think somebody mentioned to me that they're looking for the cosmic treadmill. They're trying to get to the cosmic treadmill so that they can run back Flash and back to BVS to warn Bruce, which kind of is funny because doesn't that just mean that this is going to be just a circle going in a circle back over and over and over? Because Batman's going to make the same decisions after being told by Flash, who runs back in time, that Lois Lane is the key. So we're going to just keep going in this revolving circle of thinking that you're changing the future, but you're just confirming the future over and over.
I think I don't know if Chris Terrio would come back for another film, but man, someone needs to write something to kind of explain how that kind of works, that whole kind of time travel loop. But you know what? I mean, I know someone said that the only bad thing about the Snyder Cut is that we never got to see it in cinemas. But you know what? See, if we did get to see it in the cinemas, I think this is something that would happen. So thanks, guys. I think we'll wrap it up here because I know Zack Snyder and Joe Manganiello are going to be on Twitch now with their some kind of live event. So I think there's going to be some news there. We'll let everyone check that out now. Thanks, Uchi, for coming on.
Hey, man. Thank you, man. I'm sorry I came in a little bit late there, bro.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's nice to meet
David,
you.
Nice to meet you too, Dave.
Thank you, David, for coming on as well. And that's what can we say? I mean, I know JN here. He got to see an IMAX. Lucky guy.
Oh, lucky, man.
Lucky. I don't know when the cinemas are going to open here in the UK, but as soon as they are, I'm going to call them. I'm going to say, when are you getting the bloody Snyder Cut on the big screen? I want it.
Yeah.
I think we've got an IMAX here, so I'm sure, I hope they're going to show it. I know the Blu-ray is listed on if you go to Blu-ray.com. Oh, what's that? All right. Superman. I know that if you go to Blu-ray.com, you'll see Zack Snyder's Justice League is listed as a release in Australia, Germany, France. May the 28th, the 4K Blu-ray is supposed to come out. So keep an eye on that. But until then, we have HBO Max, Sky Cinema here in the UK if you guys want to watch it. But thanks everyone for tuning in. And remember, what can I play? I've got some memes. What memes can I play? Oh, how about Robert? Hey, Robert Pattinson. I've got Robert Pattinson on the phone. Hey, Robert, have you seen the Snyder Cut? Oh, you have? All right. Would you like to come on the show and let's talk about it?
No. I'm Robert Pattinson, asshole. I don't do that. Screw you.
Oh, well, never mind. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.